Hey, BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, and yeah, I know yesterday's video was a bit smaller than usual, but considering I was busy for all that Saturday, better to get a small but compact video out in time for that. I did say I had a few more ideas for characters who should have gotten some more special moves, some of who I've talked about in the past within one video, and am I going to get through all of them? Probably not, but that's why I can do Volume 2. So whatever characters I forgot to include, I can bring up later. And this time I plan on talking about at least one bakuten character for these videos, since it wouldn't be fair to exclude them. Plus, you could come up with some cool stuff. So, type Long Live Beyblade in the comment section, and let's get started. Starting off with the original trilogy, and honestly, I think Lee should have gotten a new special move during G Revolution. As much as I despise the whole character fell off arguments, one of Lee's unique attributes was that he was able to copy the techniques of the other White Tiger members in Season 1. And while I could use that as an inspiration, considering he's the last one standing in the Tigers X vs PBB All-Stars match and goes out fighting Tala, I think we could make his last two fights have a bit more meaning. Especially since in the anime, Ray upgraded Gatling Fang to maximum. So, let's do that for Lee. I dub it his new special move, Spiral Lightning Maximum. Instead of Galleon shooting bolts of lightning at the opponent, which is what Spiral Lightning usually does, this time for Maximum, Lee sends his lightning spiraling around his Beyblade Galleon like a defensive shield, weakening and shattering the defense or the strength of an opponent's attack or special move, shaping itself in the beast of Galleon near the end before devouring the opponent with a lightning-style fang. This would actually be a huge shock if he and Ray barely managed to beat Max and Rick with this, and Tala's victory over him would be a lot more fun if this move actually came close to defeating Tala, but only spared thanks to Noe Rogue trying to cancel it out, especially since, lightning and ice aren't exactly good conductors. I think this one would be pretty fun, but I also want you guys to let me know what you guys think of these special moves in general, so let me know in the comments below. Next up is the Metal Saga, so let's go with everyone's favorite robbed young prodigy, Utendo. At least for Master, since he served his role in Fusion well, or at least Fury decently. Since we have to take the anime's popularity and just changing him from an elite member of Dark Nebula to basically its top 4 for Redemption arc, the Big Bang Bladers World Championship arc really only gave him time to shine against Lavushka, but his opponent cheated. Then as support for Tsubasa in the tag battles against Wildfang and Excalibur, and he was injured against the Garcias despite actually doing pretty well against him before Argo stepped in, so he wasn't really ready or in good condition for the team match. So I need a technique that would benefit him but also mitigate the fact that most people were able to either counter Sandbuster or defeat him before he could set up Inferno Blast. So I settled on Sand Tsunami. This is going to be a move he develops either during the Alexi fight, after or during the Demure fight, or for the Excalibur fight. Basically, Libra does or attempts Sandbuster, but vibrates the sand enough to create a giant wall of sand flying high into the air and is able to send it down crashing on the opponent's Beyblades. Or he can use it as a geyser to target the user with a huge blast of sand to separate itself from Libra or the opponent's teammates. I feel like you doing this would show off his intelligence against Alexi, serve as a counter to separate Benkei and Demure, or knock them out as a surprise attack when Tsubasa goes berserk. Heck, this would actually be pretty good against people like Excalibur, since you spent the fight just trying to hold back Dark Tsubasa. When a special move like this would actually be able to rival Grand Ducalion long enough for Tsubasa to deal with his plight, and it would actually make you look good after they basically watched Sandbuster. Because apparently people were shocked and calling it stupid that a water move was able to disrupt sand, despite the fact that sand needs to be way more dense for it to be stronger than water. But fixing you and the problems with his character after or just doing Masters. If you guys want me to do a video about that, let me know. Next up is Masamune from Metal Masters, and there's a fact people remember Ray Striker was able to use his D125 for spin track and coded sharp performance tip to perform incredible dodges in holds to the point Striker or Unicono were teleporting around his opponent and making his opponent waste stamina or power from the special move. So we're going to make a special move that takes advantage of that, and we're calling it the Lightning Sword Dance. Masamune Striker teleports, not once, but multiple times, charging up lightning in his performance tips as it teleports, then releases it to blast at the opponent with a less powerful, but swifter strike of lightning as the opponent falls into the path before the bay vanished. It gave him a close range tool that would allow him to turn his offense into defense, which for a character people think is stupid but is more battle savvy than people give him credit for. I think this would fit quite well. But whenever there's lightning, there's water, so let's move on to our next blader. Hikaru Hyasama, neglected queen of Beyblade's Metal Saga. Honestly, as I'm typing it, it is 7:56 p.m. and while I'm debating whether or not I should close my eyes or set an alarm in case I accidentally fall asleep, I have been thinking about the fact this girl could have had at least 4 special moves that I could come up with in less than 2 minutes. So now that it's 2 hours later and I woke up, let's give her some. First one, I'm going to say we need to take advantage with her Beyblade Zodiac with a new special move idea, one I call Aquario Infinite Shower. Switching the tip to the lower height, Aquarius flies up with oceanic force into the air, this time summoning the clones with them. Though the opponent thinks they can use the light to find the real one, Aquaria uses the fact that it's an air sign and a water bearer to use the after images to wrap all the Aquaria clones in a spray of water akin to water vapor. Then all of them dive down, rapidly splashing down and hitting the opponent before the real one finishes off the opponent. This would be a fun one and have Hikaru get a special move that's able to show she's overcome her Beyblade's weakness, while also giving her a multi-pronged attack that manages to overpower some special moves, so she's got more options instead of being limited in the variety of strategies. It ain't the first or last time I will be talking about her this month, I can feel it. But that's it for now. If you could give Hikaru a special move, what would you want it to be? Ooh, here's a character I haven't talked about, I think at all. Kyoya. He's okay, but yeah, established as a friend to Jingo, only to get neglected as a show went along, with only 2 special moves, Horn Throw Destruction and Windstorm Assault. One of which is just a strong uppercut, the other is a traditionally defensive move I'm surprised was never used offensively. So for their 3rd special move, let's just combine the 2, and we're gonna call that move Horn Storm Rampage. Kyoya glows and Ares accelerates while wobbling, trapping the person into its spin track and dragging and spinning them around. Then Ares wraps its horns in ice, slamming its horns down with the Ares ring, resulting in massive damage for any player that gets too close. That's a nod to Kyoya's big special move from DS, Blizzard Hold, and plays into his name being Iceberg and Trickster, since you wouldn't normally expect that from him if you've only seen what his 2 first special moves can do. Moving on to Burst, I got a few ones, so let's go with the obvious ones. Starting with the best friend who should not have been neglected in the show, Rentaro, and for Season 1, I'm giving him a special move that's based after the Sword Flames arc, dubbed Ragnarok Rising Impact. Basically, Ragnarok creates a large centrifugal force in the air blow with its 2 upper blades that undulates like a flame when attacking its opponents with a lower attack. So here's how this will work. Rentaro will curve his launch to start in stamina, but have the momentum to circle around the stadium and trap people towards the center in case it gets knocked out. Once that happens, Rentaro activates his new special move. This time, Ragnarok channels the airflow through its 2 upper blades that glow orange-red as the beast uppercuts their opponent out of the stadium. It's basically a combination of Glide Tornado when Rentaro uses it offensively, and Hurricane Counter, and this should help Rentaro get a few more wins in Season 1. Also in Season 1, we're just going to give Kensuke the new one he should have had instead of honoring laziness, by just using his jumping attack strategy, and dub it Chain Slam. Kensuke angles his launch of Kaiser Kerbeus to go high, and after a powerful bounce, Kensuke resonates with his blade, which slams the opponent with the 12 lower chain-type blades that either reduce spin flow or burst the opponent if they can't set up a strong momentum. Finally, let's get to the fan favorite in Dyna, since you know I talked about this before, but one thing I didn't talk about is that when he had his rematch against Ukyo, he adjusted his launch to go for a level shot to rise above his opponent, and had the speed to go in for the counterattack. So let's combine that with his fight against Go for his new special move, Serpent Hack. With an angled launch towards the stadium, Dyna's blade puts all the pressure on the Jaggi tip into a huge burst of acceleration and one giant burst of speed, allowing it to drift back and attack an approaching Beyblade with more force than they thought possible. But if Dyna can't connect it, it can risk him the fight, though if Dyna can, their opponent will feel the Reaper's blades on their partner. Finally, let's give Bird one for Hell's Chain. Hasbro, you really couldn't have called the line Heat, Heat Chain, Heat Scythe, Heat Hammer, Heat Reaper. You did it with Salamander. Anyway, basically, we're weaponizing what he did against Karuda. While using Hell's Chain, Bird activates the 4D system, charging with the full brunt of Hell's Chain and its contact points, turning the opponent's momentum against them. Like we saw against Karuda, when used properly, it can deflect and even push extreme dash attacks out of the stadium, or be great for finishing attacks. Okay, so tell me what you all think about with these choices. Apparently, telling people to like, comment, and subscribe works, so please do all of that. Anyway, which of these special moves did you like? Which ones did you not like? If you didn't like the name of some, let me know what you'd rename them. What other characters do you think deserve the new special move? Thanks for watching, let me know in the comments below, and BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, signing off.